Yo fellow trainers and welcome back to Dank Pokemon Profiles. So today I have for you a report of a 2006 webcam tournament I recently participated in, and yeah, I decided to play raieggs. So for some context, this tournament was hosted on the PTCG Legends Battle Frontier Discord server. It was a voting for which tournament everybody wanted to play, and in the end 2006 won. The list I decided to play is basically card for card the list from Jeremy Evans, the actual server owner. And yeah, I think like raieggs is kind of like known. You play this Raichu, which has Zap, which deals 20 damage to any Pokemon, which has Pokepowers or Pokebodies. You on your own don't play any, so only your opponent takes all the damage to spread your attacks. I have a couple of comeback cards you can use with your Scramble energies, which provide free energy cards if you have more prizes remaining. You have your Rockets admins, and so on. And yeah, that's basically the deck. Okay, and I hope you have fun watching the games I played, and yeah, see you there. Okay, so for my first game I played against Lunatone Solrock, and I went first. Okay, I found a special metal energy, which was kind of okay. Then I attacked with Tail Whip, and my special metal energy got instantly discarded by energy removal too. So in general, this is rather a good matchup for raieggs because everything in that deck has a Pokebody, so I can snipe everything with Zap. But it's potentially also dangerous because of the Lunatone hitting me for weakness. But still, it's favored. The problem in this game is that one of my 3 Raichus was prized, two of my Pokemon Retrievers were also prized, so of my 6 Raichus, basically 3 are my prizes. So this makes it a bit more difficult, because if I lose a Raichu I only have 1 remaining and then I need to find an item card to attack again. So yeah. Okay, here I attach a Scramble energy and then start using Zap, which is quite good. And my opponent has a rather slow start, just being able to use Scorching Light and like burning me right here. And yeah, slowly setting up the Lunatones, which is correct because you need the Lunatones to KO my Raichus. I think you really should prioritize getting rid of my Raichus. Obviously, the Executor with Split Bomb hitting 30 and everything is also potentially dangerous, but yeah. Also, a funny interaction is just how we are trading here the stadiums. None of the stadiums affect anybody of us, but it's mostly to get the cards out of our hand. Finding here Ronan's Mentor and setting up the bench even more. It's great, and now KOing him right here in my Raichu. That's pretty good. Okay, here I play now Steven's Advice, and I obviously want to find my second Raichu, but I do not. Therefore, I decide to just play down my cast form and start drawing more cards. I'm not super sure about the following turns. Okay, here finding again energy removal too. That's nice, it's supposed to be done even further. And here playing also an admin. See, we both didn't drew too well, therefore we decided to use the admins for consistency actually. And here he decides to attack my Executor. I think that's not correct. I think you should try to two-shot my Raichu because then I'm like completely screwed in this position. But yeah, my opponent decided that the Executor is more dangerous. Yeah, we see, okay, Mouse is attaching an energy to the Lunatone. So I mean, I guess you KO it right here, and now as soon as I start attacking with my Raichu, you can just promote Lunatone. You're hitting me currently for 40 and with weakness it's 80, so I need to find an energy wood to survive it, or double special metal energy. Yeah, okay, drawing more cards. Adding another stadium. Yeah, okay. So I've been started to attack with my Executor now with the Scramble energy, which is kind of nice, and I'm getting burned again. So yeah, just spreading damage, and I'm not really trying to trade prizes even when there's lots of damage on my opponent's Pokemon already, because I just want to take a bunch of KOs with this big Zap, and I want to use my Scramble energies obviously. Here my opponent attaches an energy root and then decides to hit me for 40. That's a big gamble, because if I flip tails on the burned, then I get KO'd, and that's pretty good. But I flip heads, so that's really unfortunate. Then I'm able to spread even more damage, and I again flip heads, so I still don't get KO'd, which is really bad. And now the Lunatone has taken a bunch of damage. That's really bad. Okay. So yeah, here now my opponent starts to attack my Raichu, which is correct, but I have 2 special metal energies, so I take just 20 damage and not 14. Which is annoying, and then here I use Zap for 5 KOs at one time. And yeah, that's a huge swing. My opponent cannot KO right here my Raichu, I can just attach it and use Metallic Thunder for 90 for a KO. My opponent sees that, and now he's trying to use Scorching Light to paralyze my active Pokemon. And then find a way there to like get down a Lunatone and one-shot me. Something like that. Okay. And here with the reverse, promoting again my Raichu, and then also attempting to paralyze me, but I just get burned, and then yeah, that's my game. Okay, so for my second game I played against Tyranitar, Magcargo, Steelix, or something like that. Which is a deck I have no idea about what it is doing, to be honest, but yeah. The idea is basically that you have Tyranitar with Crush Draw, which lets you attach an energy, and you stack with energy with Magcargo, and then you can attach them to Steelix and be happy, more or less, I guess. But yeah, because I wasn't familiar with the matchup, I was kind of scared how this would work out. Played down here the Cursed Stone. The idea was mostly that I tried to get rid of the Magcargos, always with a Zap and with the Cursed Stone, and hope that I can then just win, more or less. We see, okay, my opponent decided to play down just one Magcargo, and then using Slugma's Collect to draw the stuff you stack on top of the deck, which is kind of nice. Yeah, and I just swarm my field here, don't do too many things. My opponent also didn't have that much of a quick start. Like, okay, slowly getting set up with also the Onyx, so on, but it's just not that quick. I don't take any damage because my opponent just attacks with Collect, which I guess is fine if you want to play like a couple of comeback cards, but I'm attacking the consistency and not the attackers, so a bit annoying for him. And yeah, you can see I take the first KO on the Magcargo, which is nice. Okay, Steelix hits the field and also now the Tyranitar. And yeah, as long as that Slugma is active, I can still just hit both and deal 40 each turn and just set up my board. I really want to get down, obviously, an Executor, because Delta Circle helps me KOing the Steelix EX. And yeah, just spreading damage. An option my opponent could have had was using Knockover from Magcargo to get rid of the Cursed Stone if he isn't able to find a counter stadium, but yeah, decide against it apparently. Yeah. So like, I think earlier I added Battle Frontier. The idea is that Battle Frontier prevents Tyranitar's Crush Door, which is another important point. Here my stadium gets bumped and my opponent goes in with the Steelix EX, but I have the Executor set up and then also played on the Battle Frontier, so no more shenanigans with Crush Draw. I played on more basics and then take the KO, and then my opponent basically had the problem that his hand was kind of dead, wasn't finding the Magcargo, so decided against playing it down. And yeah, he didn't have a secondary attacker ready yet, and just attacks me for 10 here, which is not that threatening. I have a double Rainbow Energy in my hand actually, which I will attach in just a second, I think. Yeah, here I attach it, and then I can just take the KO with Metallic Thunder. So yeah, that was kind of rough, I cannot lie. My opponent just didn't have a good start in the game, and after the Steelix got KO'd, it was just not really in the cards for my opponent anymore right here. Like, I mean, Fury the Tyranitar is kind of cool because it's a single price attacker and it could deal tons of damage at least. It can take KOs against my deck, but not if I have such a big price lead, and yeah, my opponent scooped it here up here, and that was game for me. Okay, so for game 3 I was playing against Jacktrot, and here I was going first. Well, this game got kind of one-sided. I started with a Battle Frontier, which is really good because Battle Frontier prevents Dark Trance and Evolutionary Light and Darkness Navigation, so it kind of slows down Jacktrot. And yeah, if Jackshot isn't able to find a counter stadium, it makes it tough because you have a really hard time finding your energy cards then and switching them around and stuff. You can see, okay, I on the other hand had a great start with finding my Raichu on turn 3, and I'm able to use Zap, so that's great, spreading just damage counters to everything. We see, okay, my opponent also felt needed to play down Rocket's Cypher, which is really bad because it has a Pokebody, so I can hit it with Zap, and it's a Pokemon EX, so it gives me 2 prizes. So yeah, that's really tough, and here playing Scott, finding even more annoying stadiums, it's really hard. But here, okay, the Scientist is nice, to allow you to fight more cards, especially after I have a big hand after using Scott. So yeah, I mean, I think my opponent isn't even able to fight a stadium. Yeah, here the Desert Ruins. It's like okay-ish, but still it's tough. Dark Dragonite is obviously good right here. We're switching around for energies because there's already 40 damage on the Dragonite. So just one double rainbow energy kills the Dark Dragonite. So my opponent wanted to keep the energies, and yeah, it is fine with the double rainbow energy. So that was the correct play, I guess. Finding here again the counter stadium, so my Battlefront here are away, that's good. But still, here I find a Cursed Stone, which is a bit annoying because that pressures the Dark Electrode right here. And yeah, also like playing down the Rocket Sneasel is a bit awkward because my Executor can one-shot it potentially. So there are a bunch of really huge swings potentially in this matchup. Okay, you can see I find my second double rainbow energy here using Drag Off to try to prevent me, but I did find a way to retreat, and yeah, it's just game. Okay, so overall I won all of my games, so I guess the list performed great. I'm happy with the result obviously, because I won the tournament. And yeah, the list was fine, but I think there are a couple of things I would want to change, or at least try. So the first thing is Battle Frontier. Battle Frontier, obviously the card has its applications, like the card was really good against Dragthroat, it helps against Pidgeot, wait, I can bring that up. The Pidgeot with Quick Search, which is another card which potentially can be really dangerous because like searching anything you want is really annoying, this one. But overall the card kind of underperformed in my opinion. Like in many matchups, Battle Frontier just does nothing. It's just a card you can use to bump your opposing stadiums. So I don't like it as much, and I think I would see if I could put that card like just at 2 and test it. On the other hand, a card which really surprised me is Scott. Like when I saw the list at first, I was like thinking just, why is Scott in this deck? Like Scott is cool, you can search your disruptive stadiums, that's cool, search your consistency stuff, like you can grab your Holer Mentor, which helps you with setting up and stuff like that, that's cool. But I'm in general not a big fan of one-offs which you cannot search, which you want to see just in the early or mid-game and not in the late game. Like I think it's completely fine to play cards like a Warpoint and have the mentality, okay, if I find that card out early, it's still fine, but really it's just a really powerful card at the end of the game, so it's fine to take it as a one-off. I want to see that later. Same thing with like recovery cards. But Scott is like this really awkward card that you just want to see in the early game, find quickly your stadiums, other supporters, and go off with it. Because in the later stages of the game it feels a bit underwhelming. Anyways, I somehow most of the time managed to find Scott early, and the card was really good. So I think I want to try Scott at 2 for the next time when I play this deck. With that, I quote-unquote still have the same amount of cards which find me stadiums. Another card I want to think about is Pokemon Retriever. Pokemon Retriever is really good, but what is kind of annoying is that Pokemon Retriever isn't searchable. and Hold-on Transceiver can grab other cards. What I'm saying is I think I want to try a Hold-on Farmer in this deck, because Hold-on Farmer just puts back 3 Pokemon cards, so it helps you recycle all of your stuff. Okay, the basic energy is something which doesn't come up, which makes the card a bit worse. But oftentimes I was like, I just need a way to recycle my Raichus and Pikachus. I wasn't able to find it, so being able to search it would be nice. So I think I would just cut 1 Retriever and test Hold-on Farmer the next time I will play this deck. Yeah, what else? Personally, I wasn't too big a fan of Swoop Teleporter. Like, Swoop Teleporter, the thing is, the card is only good if your board is kinda trash. Like, as soon as your board is more or less set up, Swoop Teleporter doesn't do much. The things which Swoop Teleporter helps, if you have a slim count of Raichus and Pikachus, all of them basically got knocked out, and you need to find your Raichu again in 1 turn, then you can play a recovery card, like your Pokemon Retriever, put everything back, play a Swoop Teleporter on another basic you have already in play, get your Pikachu, and then find a Raichu and evolve it instantly. So in those cases, Swoop Teleporter is really good. Also, if you start the game with Cast Form, use Delta Draw a bunch of times, and then you just swoop into a Pikachu and then evolve into Raichu and start using that. So the card isn't like super unuseful, but as soon as I have like 1 or 2 Raichus and an Executor on my bench, which isn't too hard, the card just feels dead. Like, a bunch of times I just had Swoop Teleporter and thought to myself, well, I'm not using that time anytime soon. But I think I will keep it, but it's, I think, something to consider to maybe cut for something else. Another card I want to add mostly is Hold-on Scientist. Because I just like the card in general. It's good like to have a card that can potentially draw you just a bunch of cards. It's searchable with your Hold-on Transceivers. And yeah, just I don't see a good reason to not play that card in this deck. Making space for it is a bit tough. I think I would cut a Researcher, but I think it's also fine to just keep the Researcher in the deck. But I think this is how I would play this deck after the games I played with this and test how this works. Okay, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you around. Bye bye!